Amore Pizza King, serving Rockville since 1972. Dine in, carry out, or drive up window. Come and see us. Thank you, Rockville, for 50 years of business.
Let's call to order the regular session. Members present, all the commission members are present.
I guess that's not time for.
Guest members, Chief Randy Neely and Assistant Chief William McMichael, otherwise known as Bill. Whenever I write that, I always want to write both, and then
You can say AKA.
AKA Bill. Okay. I'd like to have a review of the minutes from the November meeting, if we can read through those. Somebody have those handy?
No, but I read them already.
Okay. Has everybody read the November minutes? Were there any suggestions for corrections, amendments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, minutes are approved.
We're supposed to
What was
vote.
the date on that meeting?
Are we supposed to vote? Okay.
Aye.
All in favor of the minutes being approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The ayes have it. Part of the list on the agenda tonight was review of any applications or voting on applications. We didn't have any of those in executive session, so we can move on from that. I made a note just in case we were getting some early applications for full-time, part-time positions, so nothing to do there, so we're good to go there. So
We don't have any applications.
not that I've been made aware of yet.
I ran into a guy at
I thought we had 4.
the restaurant the other morning, said he thought he was going to apply. Heavy set kid.
I'm not sure.
He was having
Yeah,
lunch.
5.
He was having lunch with Cameron.
That probably is, works out of the prison.
He's one of them.
Okay.
Now, are they under preliminary review? Then that's why we didn't really discuss applications.
We haven't,
and-
yeah, we haven't done anything with them yet because the deadline's
Oh,
set
it's
for
the
the
10th.
10th,
Okay,
and which is tomorrow. But once we get the final ones in, then we will start the background investigations, and we will set a date for a physical agility test that they have to meet the minimum standards of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, and we'll have a written test. And those may knock somebody out, may not. Then after that, there'll be a review board with the officers, and that's not with me, that's just the officers. And they'll ask them some questions and they'll give their reviews. The background investigations will be ongoing during that time. I'll assign them to different guys. Like the one you were talking about is, I think, friends with Cameron, so I've assigned that to somebody else. And there's some jail officers that work at the jail that have applied, but they work on the same shift as Ian, so I've assigned those to somebody else.
But none of them have the academy. Is that correct?
None of them have so far.
Have any of them applied before?
No, not here. We have one that's applied, I think, Montgomery County, or it's a Roachdale deputy marshal, but
Some of them have also applied for the county as well as us.
yeah, and the county's got 2 openings right now.
okay,
So
okay. So more to come on the application.
we may see if we can duplicate or combine our
Agility.
physical agility test with the counties, just, to make things easier, get people used to being around and working with each other too.
Mhm.
Do we know if any of our guys have applied for the county jobs?
Not that I'm aware.
I asked today and was told they have not seen any.
When's their deadline?
I don't know. And there may not be set yet because they're still worried about current situations.
Right. Okay.
So once that happens, then it'll probably be the end of January before we can maybe try to set up a meeting with you guys. And then once you approve someone, then they have to be approved by Perf 77 fund.
So we,
And if they're approved by that, then they have to be offered a conditional.
Well, they have to
They
be
have to pass
offered a
medical.
conditional first.
Before
That will
permit.
be by the town. The police commission will give him the conditional letter of employment, but it's conditioned that he passes that
The
physical
medical
and psychological testing.
Psychological screen, okay. Okay, good enough. Any other questions on applications? Okay, we'll move on. Any ongoing random drug testing
I
questions?
have not received anything.
Okay, for this quarter yet? Okay, good deal.
I think somebody took a test.
I've not been made aware.
Maybe been Cameron or something within the last couple of months.
They asked me to as a backup, and I had asked them. I thought that we got that situated. If there was a backup, we would just give that person the test when they came in, and they're like, "No, you're a backup for one of the utility guys that can't make it." And I'm like,
Right.
No.
No.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
think
that doesn't
we did
sound
cover it.
right.
no,
Yeah, that's why we drafted that memo to try to help clarify some of that and
Yeah.
and provided that to the town, so that was probably after that had happened.
Right.
So, okay, the next thing I had on the list was just clarify for our minutes. We've talked about it briefly, but the status of the canine, the outgoing canine. I believe we had discussed retiring. Is it Jax?
Yes.
Jax.
Retiring Jax. I know he had some medical issues, and we had discussed retiring him and
selling
Derek
them
would-
to Derek for $1.
selling him to Derek for $1, and then we will move forward with Thor, the new dog, and Chris Fisher, the handler. So I just wanted to get that in our minutes, just so we could clarify that if anybody had a question. So
And Thor has been certified in narcotics.
okay, very good.
That
So
was
he's
quick.
got his certification. Yeah, he's still a young pup.
Big pup.
Chris did call me today though and said that he cut his pad or something.
Mm.
So he's got an appointment with the vet first thing in the morning.
Okay.
What kind is he?
German Shepherd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we
Are
still
they
have
all
the
German Shepherds?
No, Jax was
a Belgian Mountain
Belgian.
Dog. And then Chris McCann, his dog is a lab.
Really?
Yeah. But the shepherd's easier to spell.
I think he's about a whole cargo full of Jack Russells.
Well, I have a new bloodhound.
And we've got plenty of money in the canine fund to cover the vet bills and all that, and
Brett?
Yes.
should have.
Right now it is.
Oh,
What's he gonna do? Where's he gonna classes?
He's practicing right now with your
That one.
nephew.
Mike?
He works at the bank.
Okay.
Do we need to move to approve the retirement of?
I'll make a
Yeah.
motion.
I'll
Do
second.
we have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Okay, the motion carried.
I saw your cat in the Christmas tree too.
Not mine.
That's Brett's, right?
You.
Oh, spoiled animals.
Okay, the next thing I had on the list, just for informational purposes, Randy, is are there any grants working? I know you'd applied for a new grant assistance program through Lexipol, I believe, and that would
Yes.
help us find grants, and just, are there any updates on that front?
Yes, they have hooked me up with Panasonic, who is the maker of these tough books, and they're working on helping us get a grant available to purchase new ones. These were purchased about 2 years ago with a grant, but they were refurbished. So we are having a lot of maintenance problems with them. The sheriff's department's having a lot of maintenance problems with them. So, and I always look for grants that are not matching grants. So, occasionally we do get some that are like the Criminal Justice Institute grants for the Operation Pullover. But we are currently involved with also the Criminal Justice Institute for the Operation Pullover or Comprehensive Highway Injury Reduction Program, CHIRP. And we are in a traffic safety partnership that they made us join, where we did it by ourselves before, but now we're with Clinton Police Department. So Clinton Police Department's taking care of all the paperwork the way we understand it now. They haven't told us anything different. We do have a blitz starting the 15th of this month, and it runs through the end of the month for safe holiday travel. And Bill and Chris Fisher are now going to be the ramrods on that. I do not participate in those anymore because I can't accept federal funding from anything, with the fact that I intend on filing to run for sheriff. So
Okay.
that's just been cut out altogether.
Just one thing to mention, I think we discussed this before, the Operation Polo and all that stuff. I noticed it in the paper today, I think some little blurb about it. But again, going back to, I think, eliminating some of the controversy that surrounds, well, I saw an RPD in Belmore. I saw an RPD out by Lee Allen Bryan. I saw RPD out there by John Lewis's house. Is to maybe more of an explanation in the Sentinel or whatever. It says you may see RPD in Belmore because here's what we're doing.
And on your Facebook page.
And on your
We do.
Facebook page.
In fact, we have to keep documents of that. We've always done that because we have to show Criminal Justice Institute that we are doing those things. And we promote the traffic safety on our Facebook page,
Okay.
on our Nextdoor app, on our Twitter account.
Some of the people in chat.
So, and I get people that text message me during those things. Why has RPD got 3 units working Belmore right now? And I explain to them, it's a federal grant, money that comes through the state, and we have to work it in high traffic accident locations.
But I will also tell you that as a month ago, I was in Bloomingdale because we had a hit and run in Rockville, and I was able to track the owner of the vehicle that ran to Bloomingdale. I've also gone all the way down to Evansville, not for training, but actually to do an investigation. So we're not, I know a lot of people, their only real experience with law enforcement is the Dukes of Hazzard, and they think that the county line is where
It stops.
it stops, and unfortunately we have to go all over the state from time to time.
Kind of along that same vein, since we don't pay our officers as much as the county or many other places, is this the time to maybe revisit the situation with cars, take home, and a lot of places, right now ours is only in Park County and in Vermilion County. I know a lot of places.
Only in Park in the city of Clinton.
Okay, and a lot of places allow adjoining county, so it could be Montgomery or
Vigo.
Putnam or Vigo.
And some of the officers have even asked, they said if they were allowed to do that, they would buy the gas.
Which I would probably be good with that. I don't think we should provide the gas necessarily, but
Well, and especially if they're using it to go to a part-time job
Right.
that's police related.
right.
I know they miss out on a lot of overtime opportunities because it's required that maybe you take your car there too. And a lot of times when you take your car there, you're just sitting in your car. It's more of they see a police car there. It's not that they're actually driving it around
Construction sites.
and doing anything. It's just they want that police car high visibility so that they know, hey, this is being patrolled.
And the only thing I think, if that's something we're interested in, would be, make it clear, it's an in lieu of thing. It's not in your paycheck, but it's a benefit to you.
And
Do they take the cars home now, though, right?
Not all of it.
Well, they do, as long as they're living in the county.
if they don't, it's by their choice, or it's because we're short a car and somebody else has to use it.
So mine and Ian's have been left here quite a bit lately, so that other people could utilize them.
Okay.
We should all be thankful that they are visible. In this world that we're living in today, for God's sakes, we need to know that the police are on duty.
Well, we got a sheriff's deputy in our street. We got a town cop over on Voorhees Street. We got you at, so it's nice to see the cars.
In the neighborhood.
And I've also made them aware that if we were ever able to get that the mission comes first, and that if something were to pop up where we don't have enough cars,
They
you're
come
not
back.
going to be able to. So
Can't
if
stay
you're
at the
scheduling
movie.
ahead,
Yeah.
it's not going to work. But we have some gigs that they'll call up and say, hey, can you work tonight? And if they're off duty and they're able to drive their car there, and I think the sheriff's department or one of the local sheriff's departments that was doing that, they'd have them fill their car up at the town, and then when they came back, they would have to fill it up, and they'd get a
Pay that.
receipt, and so that way you could have some kind of checks and balances
Yeah.
to show that you are filling it up.
Okay.
So I think I'll throw that motion out there and it'll fly or not.
Okay. Sounds good.
With us or town?
Yeah, now.
You got it.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Now,
We'll record it in the minutes.
So that, yes, it'll be recorded in the minutes,
And that allows them to go where now?
surrounding counties.
Yeah, is that contiguous?
Yeah, it's just Park, or Vigo, Vermillion,
Montgomery.
so they can live in Vigo County.
Fountain.
No.
We can't.
Well,
No.
How do you change that? Well, I mean, I see a Terre Haute PD in Rosedale.
And they can, and there's one lives just outside of town here.
different departments, some of them, you can't get a take-home car for 5 years, some of them get it day
Right.
one, some never get it, some go 2 counties, so you set each county sets its own policy.
You don't care where the applicant comes from. An applicant
Who?
Kevin did.
Well,
from
you
Vigo
do-
County can come and be an RPD.
Do you have to
They
live in
could.
the county?
They could, by state statute, they don't have to live in the county.
Oh,
So
Okay.
when
But
But
we tried
you can
to-
stay for a take-home car, you have to live here.
right, right.
So Ian, when he was on West Terre Haute PD, he lived just outside of Rockville, and he drove his squad car home every day.
And these Terre Haute guys that live up here, they do
Right.
too every day.
Okay.
You have to be there so long
Well,
to do that.
Brazil got a new officer that's right out, it's in Hendricks County on the western
I've
end.
seen that.
Yeah, he's got, I would assume it must be so many miles, because that's not
Right.
next to their county by any stretch.
No.
Well, and there's some departments that do 2 counties.
Right.
It's all
One county's good.
Yeah.
I
No,
guess-
I'm just saying that's why you may see
Ain't
them
small,
out
it's
further.
small, so.
Unless it's work related, and then they usually have to call me to let, or Bill to say, hey,
Right.
I need to go here to do this investigation, I need to go here to get some
Buy a
equipment.
gun.
Then we'll say, yeah, that's fine.
I
But
guess
it's
the
gotta be
flip
approved
side
by us.
is maybe you'll have to have more miles on your cars before they get it replaced. 'Cause-
And they will, but I think the guys are pretty good about taking care of their cars because they know that it's gonna be a long time before you get another one.
Right.
And they're pretty particular about guys that use their car and are vocal about telling them, don't leave this trash in my car or mud all over my floorboards. When you borrow my car, you won't be borrowing my car anymore.
Are you getting the other new one when it's ready?
No, Chris
No, that's
Fisher is.
Oh,
Chris.
okay.
They're
Okay,
nice. They're nice.
they are.
No, we have a rotation. The oldest car is the next one that's replaced, and right now the two oldest ones at this point for future purchases would be his and
The new guys
The
would
new
probably
guy.
be up first because it'd have more miles on it. They're having the canine
Right.
and Chris having the canine. Usually your canine officer cars are going to have the most miles because they're helping with the canine or they're going to all the canine training.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, speaking of new cars, let me segue back to grants. Is there any grants available for like hybrid type vehicles? With all the push toward hybrid and electric and all that, have you come across any hybrid vehicles?
I haven't seen one, but we can search for that.
Okay, let's at least take a look.
I think we
See
might
what that
want to
looks
wait
like.
till we have a plug-in in town.
so
Good thought.
You can go to some kind of an outlet because the woman at Chorus plugs her Tesla. She runs an extension cord
Really?
out.
Probably have to have some kind of converter
Of
or
course, I don't
something.
think we're
maybe.
gonna
Get
get Tesla.
plugged into the neighbors.
will that be effective immediately or will that be? Does that have to wait?
What's that?
The policy for the vehicles.
It's effective now. They've just
Okay.
passed it. So
Okay.
Just something to explore, to see what it looks like and what the requirements are and some of the parameters, because they may come with it. Grant may have a portion of it,
I
where you
would
put in a charging station,
Yeah.
even if it's at the department or something along those lines. So,
well, and I know but see if you get something like that, then it might be a pool car that has to be plugged in here all the time, or
yeah.
It'd be nice to have a full car.
It would.
It would.
And I mean, the way they're pushing for green things, I bet there's stuff out there.
and the board's discussing at this new parking lot maybe
Yeah.
have a couple of parking
And I know
chargers
Cindy
in.
said there's some grants for the outlets, so hopefully we can get some.
Just worth a look.
We
I mean,
can
I know
pick
it's.
them
it
up.
may
I know
be-
they're making them
It may be a
now.
long-term process, but it's, see if we can get ahead of it maybe and.
I think Tesla makes a police car.
And we can
I don't
look
think we're
forward
gonna
to
get
having
Tesla.
lots
I
of
think,
F-150.
I think Ford makes some.
They do.
They have
They
the
do.
F-150.
They have hybrid.
Toyota
Police vehicles.
Maybe we can get a
Mary's is
Tesla
on
that the officer can sit in the passenger seat,
Yeah.
vigilant.
And they can
on his
drive us
community,
auto-
And the Tesla can drive himself around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Any other questions concerning grants from the commission?
No, but I'll relay that to the officers about the vehicles, but also the part that if they're putting extra miles and stuff on it, they should probably be expected. Put the gas in there and turn those receipts in showing that you got them. And they can do that with their monthly gas logs. There's a spot on there that they can put the gas or that they did an oil change on their own.
Now, are you gonna put that in writing for the officers to?
Yeah, I will.
And
We'll sign it.
we can also give that to the town board if they have any questions. So-
The more documentation you have, the better. That way you never get, well, I didn't know that.
Who services the other town vehicles?
Well, it depends on what it is. If it's something big, then we have to go out. Like Cameron's truck is at the Chevy dealership, but I think it's done now. It had to have the motor replaced.
But the
But it was under
town, the
warranty.
town does do their own maintenance.
They
They
do.
do, Alan.
But he can't do-
Alan Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, but he can't do major things, so
He can change.
Like oil
it.
changes, stuff like
Yeah.
yeah,
that.
he's doing those
Pretty
kind of
much
things
so.
for us. He's changed some brakes and tires, and
Okay.
I think maybe a strut or something that.
Change the fuses on the radios. And
Yeah. So he can do a lot of things, but like, for instance, a water pump went out on police car, and you have to take the whole front end of it, those Fords off to get to the water pump.
Chevys.
Well, they're not making any
Chevys.
of them so that you can get to them anymore. So
I hear you.
Okay. All right. The next thing I had on the agenda briefly was looking at a schedule for calendar year 2022, and the first swing I want to take at this is just 4 meetings, one per quarter, and of course the other meetings will be filled in as needed. If we get applications, if there's discipline, if there's new policies, whatever it may be that comes up, we'll have to schedule those as we go. And I was going to recommend that we look in the last month of each quarter.
That's what I was gonna, because they said maybe they'd have some applications ready by.
They might
the
have
end.
applications, we may have budget information at the end of the quarter as opposed to the beginning of the quarter if we have any questions. So I had tentatively just said the last week of each month of each quarter. So the
So
last
should-
week of March,
Shouldn't we?
Starting with the last week of March.
Should we not meet before that for the applicants, or schedule that as a
I
separate
think the
meeting?
applicants we'll just handle as they come.
Okay.
Just because we don't know when it'll be.
Right.
It could be off by a day, then we gotta switch everything around.
Yep.
So if you wanna look at your calendars for like the last week of March on a Thursday night at 6 o'clock, we'll try to stick to that if we can. If that works for
Maybe the
everybody. I know
25th.
Thursday seems to be pretty good. So if you wanna.
The last 3 days are just the end of the month, so the 25th would be the last Thursday.
Okay.
24.
Oh, I'm in
31st.
21.
March 31st.
I'm in 21.
You want the 31st or the 24th?
Oh. Yeah,
You'd
you
probably
could
be
do-
better off at the
24th.
24th.
Yeah, let's go with the 24th.
What?
Let's not make it on the last day.
March on my gas bill to do that day.
Then let's look to June, same concept in June.
What day?
That's what they're gonna pull the actual calendar for
That would be the 23rd.
23rd of June.
Are they all here, or do we determine that later?
I'm gonna recommend we do them here unless there's, say if the town board wants to talk about a budget issue, whatever, occasionally they said they may wanna meet with us and there's just more room there
6.
at 6 o'clock. Yeah, we'll try to go 6 o'clock Thursday nights with all of them.
September,
September,
be 22nd.
22nd of September. Then December would be the last one. Then we might get earlier in the month, maybe just
Yeah.
because of the holidays and maybe like today's the 9th, so maybe the
Maybe about 8. Make it the first, within the first 2 weeks.
The 8th would be-
8th or 10th or I don't know what.
8th, it'd be 8th or the 15th.
Let's do the 8th. So that's a tentative schedule. Again, pending any unforeseen business that just comes up that we need to meet on. Okay, so let's put that down. And I'll provide those also to Dave, just for his visibility in case they do want to have a powwow. And lets the town board plan a little bit too. And again, if we need to, we may move it to the town board off of the town hall office
Yeah.
on those particular times and
Maybe
dates.
for interviews.
Maybe for interviews too. Yeah, we'll probably anything formal like interviews. We have more space. It's a little more, I don't know, hospitable.
Such a
to go up to the-
beautiful room.
Yeah.
And make sure we got a key, so I don't like do them on
I
the
got
park
it.
bench.
I got it.
Yeah.
So do I.
Any questions about the meeting dates? Is that sound
Sounds good to me.
everybody?
Just hope to be here.
Just hope to be here.
I don't schedule it too far out.
That is a long way out, but that gives us
December 8th.
gives us a starting point. So we'll take a look at that and see what comes up. That's all I have on the schedule, and we don't have anybody here from the public, so we don't need to open it up for public comments
John.
or questions.
I have no opinion
On anything?
on anything.
The budget review, is gonna be the 20th, right? They gotta vote on that day, right?
Correct.
So,
Well, not technically. We did meet one time on Christmas Eve. Or no, on New Year's Eve. I mean.
Yes.
so be there, be square,
Yeah.
5 PM, Sandy.
For the next town board meeting.
Okay. If there's is there any other business that we didn't have on the agenda? Anything that come up during our discussion that we wanna throw out there?
I don't know.
Cameron's medical leave for his newborn is to go to about the first of the year. So he should be back after the first.
Okay, I was wondering how
So
long
about
you'd be
3
off,
weeks.
so about
Oh,
3
is
weeks.
that all?
Yeah, that's what I said, at lunch here today.
So you guys have already got that
He
scheduled?
started a
Good,
week
Judge
early.
took
Yeah,
two
I've
times.
taken his schedule now. So it started a week early.
Learning how.
How is our how's our part-time guys? Have Dan or Brad been able to work any yet? Or?
They've only worked as long to get training, but they haven't worked it. Well, I take that back. Brad come out Halloween night, helped us during Halloween and directed traffic up on the square for us. So
Okay.
Dan is taking his mom to medical appointments.
Okay.
So he said hopefully it will calm down for him soon and he can help out more.
Okay. I'm just curious. I know it was the last two we brought on, and I knew they would work out fine to both these guys, but didn't know if they've been working yet or not. So, if there's no other questions or what have you,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
And stay here.
The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned.